Welcome back to Saravji's Hut. This week 7 of exploring Google Cloud Professional Machine Learning Engineer Certification. I'm going to be doing a report on my progress, showing a few examples of still surprising inconsistencies in the materials. I'm also going to be showing one example of a patent error in the materials, and I have a solution in regards to the lab issues, so I can confirm it works with all labs that I encountered so far. And I have a new badge. So let's dive in. Hi, I'm Saravji. I welcome you to my hut. This week, going through the Google Cloud Professional Machine Learning Engineering Certification, week 7. I'm going to be reporting on the progress that I made. I'm going to be showing still surprising inconsistencies in the materials, in the code that I'm seeing. I'm going to be showing blatant errors that are in the materials. I am going to be, and that's where I'm going to be spending most of the time on, showing or explaining the solution on how to actually do the labs on Qwiklabs. I again want to reiterate here, it is not a problem with the Google Cloud platforms, it is with the Qwiklabs interface that Google is using for the educational purposes only. I have a solution for that, and I have a new badge. So let's get started and dive in. The progress that I made this week, I'm pretty happy with it. I could complete one course that had quite a number of labs in there, so the total lab time I think is about 10-12 hours alone. I'm happy with the progress that I made. I'm trying to pick up the pace a little bit and get through more of the courses, or a bit more than one course per week, to keep the time that it actually takes me to go through the materials a little bit shorter. In regards to the still surprising widespread inconsistencies, so here are actually 3 screenshots out of the course materials, TensorFlow and Google Cloud. They are from the slides 140, 143 and 144, and just by those numbers you actually can see they are in the same corner of the materials. It's not that it is different folks putting it together. What I actually want to point out on the right top, up there, if you actually look at the indent that you can see there, they're using 2 characters of an indent for that code snippet. On the one below here, the one below, it's 4 characters, that is indent level, and the one above is 3 characters indent level, so 3 white spaces. The Python standard and the Google standard is either 2 or 4, never 3, so this up there is code that does not in any way, shape or form conform to Google standards. This code should never have made it into this slide. The one surprising thing here is Google standard says either go with 2 or 4, don't mix. And I'm still seeing it all over the place that it is being mixed, and it's I simply find it baffling. And these materials, they actually have been reworked this year. So these materials are brand new. I checked on the videos that they're actually using. Those videos have less than 50 views. So it is a handful or 2 handful of students basically that went through those materials. That's how new they are. And I see those kinds of inconsistencies in those materials, and it's just baffling to me that there is not being paid attention to those materials to actually have them clean and conform actually to the standards that are required within Google itself. Going even one step further is this example here. This is actually out of the neural network lab. That's actual code in a notebook, in one cell. It is not copied together. It is code that is in one cell. So this is supposed to be run together. And if you actually look up there, you see indent levels that are mixing in the first function in there. The outer indent level is 4 white spaces. The second indent level is 4 white spaces. In the second function, the first indent level is 2 white spaces. And then if you actually look into the if clause, it is 6 white spaces in there. What is going on here? How can this kind of code be in a official open source Google repository? This does not make any sense to me, and it's just absolute surprising to me, and I am honestly lost for words what is going on here. This example is from the same slide deck as earlier. This is slide 174. Here are errors in the code that make the code useless. A constructor in Python is a dunder init, not a single underscore init single underscore. It is a double underscore init double underscore. This code is completely non-functional, and I don't know how it can be that code that is obviously wrong can make it into a slide deck. And again, this is course materials that got revised this year. It just baffles me that this kind of a problem still persists in these materials. Like mentioned, I'm going to be spending a few minutes talking about the solution in regards to the lab issues. It is actually a relatively simple solution, and it works. What you want to do is you want to stay logged in into your Qwiklabs account in your regular browser window. No incognito window, just regular browser window, and this is where you are logged in with your personal Qwiklabs account. When you're opening a lab, you have the screen start the lab button. Once you actually go on that, you get temporary credentials for executing the lab on Google Cloud. At this point, you want to copy the password, and then you go with a right click on Open Google Console button and select Open in Incognito window. Make sure that you have only one incognito window open, so prior to that, close all other incognito windows. This is the only incognito window that you have open. Once you are opening it, you get a dialog box asking you to enter your credentials, and the student ID or temporary account ID that is in there should be the same as in the lab dialog page in your regular browser window. Go next, paste in your password, and then you are in the Google Cloud with your temporary account. So make sure to very strictly separate between your Qwiklabs account, your personal account. Keep that in your regular browser window and only there, and the temporary Google Cloud account that you're getting from Qwiklabs when you're starting the lab, and only that account is active in your incognito window. The moment you're separating it in this way, it works. So don't do what the instructions on Google Qwiklabs is telling you here to sign into Qwiklabs using an incognito window. Don't do that. Stay in your regular window signed into Qwiklabs, and then log into the temporary account information in the incognito window. Separate those two. Don't follow these instructions. It is creating all kinds of trouble. These instructions don't work. Same if you're seeing something like this in your lab instructions. This is also instructions that are confusing the two accounts in the same window. You should not need to use another account. You should not get to that because you are not logging in with a second account in the same window or in the same browser instance. You are separating the accounts. Your regular window is your personal Qwiklabs account. Your incognito window is your temporary Qwiklabs ID for Google Cloud. So there is this number letter combination student@qwiklabs.net. That is the account that you're going to be using in the incognito window, and only this account. Another thing that does not work is these instructions in the labs. You can't go to the hyperlink that is there because you are in two different windows and with that instances and processes in your lab. So Qwiklabs is your regular browser window, and that is where you see this hyperlink. But you need to actually go to that address in your incognito window. So how you can do that is, if you have these hyperlinks in your lab instructions, do a right click on them, then copy the link address, go into your incognito window, open a new tab and paste in the link address there and go this way. In this way, you are actually opening this link address with the account information in your incognito window, which is your temporary Google Cloud account information that you actually need to use. If you're trying to open it directly with regular click on this hyperlink, you're trying to open it with your personal ID or your Qwiklabs ID, and that is not going to be working because you have to separate those two accounts. So, like mentioned, the solution is relatively simple. No matter what the instructions say, separate those two accounts, Qwiklabs account in regular window, temporary Google Cloud account to do the lab in the incognito window, and you're going to be fine. And last but not least, I completed another set of courses on Google Cloud, and I got my next badge. With that, thanks for visiting me at my hut. If you haven't yet, check out the other materials. I'm linking my webpage down there and a couple of the other courses or materials that I have done so far. Subscribe, like, put your comments down into the comment section, and let's see what you're curious about. So long. I appreciate you dropping by. Please subscribe. I'm done here. Fire to that.